Hello everybody and welcome to the asynchronous portion of lesson number 2. So I'm going to give y'all a quick introduction to DBQs. What exactly are they, how they are relevant to your AP exam, what the scoring looks like for DBQs, and also what the purpose of DBQs are. You guys will be writing a few DBQs in APUSH. That's arguably one of the most important essays on the AP exam, so it's essential that we start mastering this writing style at the beginning of the semester so that y'all are successful on the exam in May. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so a quick overview of the APUSH exam. Like I said, the AP exam is in May. It's May 6, 2021. I know that we will have a semester off of APUSH. And that might sound weary to some of y'all, but honestly, I would think of that time as time for y'all to really continue building these skills that you learned first semester so that you can master that exam. So there's a lot of positives to having a semester off before the exam. A breakdown of the exam is that there's two parts. The first part, and it's very similar to taking the SAT where you have one part, then you get a break, you can go eat a snack, drink some water or whatever, and then you have part 2 because it is a long exam. Part 1 is multiple choice questions and SAQs, which are short answer questions. This part will look very similar to your typical unit exams where you have multiple choice questions and SAQs. But the difference between the APUSH exam is that the multiple choice questions, you have 55 questions, whereas unit exams, you only have about 22 questions at most of multiple choice. Then part 2 of the exam is DBQs and LEQs, so document-based questions and long essay questions. Long essay questions look very similar to any essay you've written. You're just simply given a prompt and you need to write an essay responding to that prompt. Document-based questions, however, are 25% of your overall exam grade. 25%, y'all, that's a big deal. And you only have 1 hour to write this essay. It's suggested you use 15 minutes to just read the documents you're given and 45 minutes to write. The documents you'll receive 7. You only have to use 6 of those documents. However, I suggest just using them all in case you don't earn a point using one of them. And we'll discuss how you earn points in a moment. So about DBQs. A DBQ, or document-based question, is an essay students construct using their own knowledge of history with the support of 7 sources to develop a historically defensible argument. I want to emphasize historically defensible, meaning you might receive a prompt that says, evaluate the extent to which imperialism led to the Spanish-American War. You would need to use history, like factual evidence, acts, people, events, time periods, or any development to support whatever argument you want to make in response to that prompt. So in DBQs, you would use the documents to help you prove that point. So the structure of a DBQ. You can earn points in various categories. You can earn up to 1 point by writing a contextualization, and we'll discuss what that is. A point for your thesis. You can earn up to 3 evidence points, so 2 points for using evidence from the documents, and then 1 point for evidence outside of the document, so evidence that have no connection to the document but still fit that theme. You can earn up to 2 points for analysis and reasoning, sourcing, so identifying what the HIP is in a document, and we'll practice HIP, or we have practiced HIP already today, but we'll continue practicing that. And then also there's a complexity point, which is arguably one of the hardest points to earn in this DBQ, but it can definitely be done, and I'm confident that a lot of y'all will earn that point. And then lastly, there's the conclusion, where you don't really earn points in that paragraph or section, but that is a good place to restate your thesis, just to make sure that you are earning that thesis point if you didn't state it in your intro, which we'll practice and y'all should be doing. Okay, so contextualization. Move that up. Contextualization tells readers what happened before or after the event, act, or development. So it's very similar to a Star Wars intro, right? And I used to watch Star Wars a lot when I was a kid. My dad is a Star Wars addict, so don't get mad at me if I misinterpret this or whatnot. But I know for a fact that at the beginning of each Star Wars film, there's this long-winded like kind of paragraph letting you know what happened before whatever is going on in this film, right? So contextualization is basically the same thing. You're adding context to whatever the prompt is about to be about or whatever your topic of your essay is. So if I want to talk about the 13th Amendment, which gave freedom to those who were previously enslaved unless they committed a crime, if my essay was about the 13th Amendment, then it would probably be necessary in my contextualization to talk about the Civil War and what slavery looked like and the few laws that Black people had during that time period. So again, contextualization just gives you like background info, or gives the reader background info into what exactly your essay is about. And then you can also earn up to 1 point for your thesis. So your thesis is a historically defensible claim that answers the whole question. Sorry, y'all. It answers the whole question. So this is where you would write, I fully agree, or I somewhat agree, that imperialism led to the Spanish-American War because, and then you would list out various historically defensible points. You don't want to throw out the whole answer in the thesis, but you want to give the reader enough information that they know, oh, okay, she's talking about American exceptionalism, she's going to talk about what happened in Cuba, etc. So that's your thesis. Evidence. So again, there's two categories for evidence. There's evidence from the documents and evidence beyond the documents. To earn up to 2 points for evidence from the documents, because that's the goal, we don't want to just earn 1 point, we want to earn 2 for that specific category. You need to use all 6 documents to support your claim and use 3 documents to address the topic of your prompt. So like to connect back to your thesis. So you got to talk about 6 documents and connect 3 of those back to your prompt, or I'm sorry, your claim, if you want to earn up to those 2 points. And then evidence beyond the documents, like I said earlier, is evidence that are completely outside of the documents. They have no relevance to any of those documents other than the fact that they help support your claim or what point you're making. So they'll most likely still be in that same time period, but they're not mentioned within those documents, I should say. So if you have a political cartoon of Andrew Jackson, your outside evidence can't be about his presidency because you already were given Andrew Jackson within one of those sources. And then analysis and reasoning, you can earn up to 2 points. Again, complexity is one of the harder points to earn. This is where you demonstrate a complex understanding of the prompt. So like, this is where you really think intellectually about the prompt and kind of dive deeper into like how all those HIP skills help support your point. And then sourcing is where you would show HIP skills. I'm saying like squills, but I'm really supposed to be skills. So my bad, y'all. And then with HIP, you don't have to do all 4 letters of HIP. You just can pick 2. So for one document, you might do the purpose of that document. Another document, you might do the intended audience and so forth. But to earn 1 point, you need to do that for at least 3 documents. So pick one of the skills and then do that for 3 documents. And then lastly, the conclusion. So again, there's not really points that you like can earn by writing a conclusion, but it's always a good idea to restate your thesis within that conclusion, so that if the reader or the grader didn't catch it at the beginning of your essay, they at least can catch it at the end. And it just kind of like circles everything back together, and it just makes it a really great essay. So we'll practice more with DBQs throughout the year. We also actually have one next week that we'll be writing. I won't be grading as hard with that one as I will throughout the school year. I just want to get a sense of your writing style. But again, we'll be practicing some aspect of a DBQ all semester.